Episode 2 of A Time Called You begins with Junhee googling Minju's 27 record shop in Naksan to find it closed. Meanwhile, Minju's home is a mess, her brother Doohun is cranky, and meanwhile she has a drunk mother who puts all her responsibilities on her daughter. At school, Sehyeon tries to help Injae with Minju, but he is always awkward with her. Dahyun, the popular mean girl, is jealous of Minju, especially when the boys cheer for her during PE class. A bully picks on Injae for liking Minju and then insults her, which angers the two boys. Sehyeon tells Injae to calm down but then beats up the bully when he continues to insult Injae. Junhee is obsessed with the photo and Na-yoon calls her out on it. She thinks Yeonjun loved her because she looked like his first love. In 1998, Sehyeon tries to set up Minju and Injae as he fakes an extra class and runs away. As the two awkwardly walk home, Minju marvels at the two boys' friendship and wishes she also had a close friend. Injae reveals that he is deaf in his right ear and the kids bullied him till Sehyeon stood up for him and became his first friend. On saying that he always has his back, Minju looks wistful. Injae suddenly says they can be friends and she smiles. Meanwhile, Na-yoon finds Cafe 27, owned by the guy who ran 27 record, but it turns out to be closed. While returning home, Junhee spots the scarred man whose face she clearly sees. He looks exactly like Yeonjun and she runs after him. She stops and feels hopeless after he vanishes, but from afar, the scarred man watches her intently. At home, Junhee sees a vision of Yeonjun who says maybe she can use Minju as justification to move on. She says she wishes but she cannot let go. She also adds that the scarred man is an illusion as she desperately wants to see him. At home, Minju wonders if the boys are pranking her by being her friend. But she pushes the thought away as she recalls watching Sehyeon on the scooty and smiles. She hears her divorced parents fighting over who should take Doohun and she cries that they don't care about her. Their excuses are flimsy and she runs out. Sehyeon spots her at a park and comforts her as she says no one cares about her. She says how she is not memorable or how even her own parents remember her birthday. To reciprocate, Sehyeon spills a secret of his own. He is moving to USA next year and has not told Injae as he wants their last moments to be happy. He hopes she can be Injae's friend so that he won't be alone. The Seojai-1 cassette arrives and she gets excited as she decides to give it to Sehyeon in person. She heads to the school grounds but on seeing all the girls fawn over him makes her self-conscious. She leaves but Sehyeon spots her. He calls Injae and they run to her. She wonders why they approached her and he reminds her that she agreed to be friends with Injae and she smiles. Na-yoon and Junhee finally find the cafe open and learn that it is run by Minju's uncle who also owned 27 record. He cannot get over the similarities between the women, but when they try to ask for Minju's number, he says she is dead. He also says he doesn't know much about the boys in the photo. In 1998, the boys surprise Minju on her birthday by bringing cake and she is touched. They have a picnic and also gift her a player. Sehyeon accidentally brings up their conversation from the park and Injae realizes that Minju likes Sehyeon. He is hurt and makes an excuse to leave. Alone, Minju gives the cassette to Sehyeon and even writes a personalized message. She also thanks him for a memorable birthday. He keeps trying to put the attention on Injae and how he found out from her uncle and bought the gift and basically set the whole thing up. But Minju disregards it all and says her birthday wish was to be the type of girl Sehyeon likes. He curtly says he will never like her that way and they are just friends. At present, they learn that Minju died in 1998. Since Yeonjun was in 4th grade at that time, it cannot be him in the photo. But this does not make Junhee feel any better and she cries as she cannot move on. In 1998, Minju too cries over Sehyeon. She comes to an abandoned home and panics as she realizes her mother ran away with her brother. She calls her uncle who tells her he will be there. But she runs out and tries to catch a bus and then a taxi. Junhee gets a mysterious package and opens it to see the Seojai-1 cassette that belonged to Sehyeon. She plays it and then texts Yeonjun that her birthday wish is just to see him one more time. Meanwhile, Minju keeps crying as she runs somewhere. She stops in the middle of the road to catch her breath and a car crashes into her. At that moment, in the present day, Junhee is sleeping on the bus when all of the texts to Yeonjun turn red. The cassette falls and the bus warps as it goes through the memories of Junhee and Minju. It cuts to Sehyeon visiting a comatose Minju in the hospital. He plays the cassette for her and she suddenly wakes up. But it turns out to be Junhee who calls him Yeonjun and hugs him.